What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is Mary Vallarta, and today is a topic for the ladies. But then again, if you are a man and you have a lady friend in your life, this could be something helpful that you can tell them or, forward them on to. So if it interests you, feel free to stay. Um, Today, I want to talk about chronic yeast infections. I don't know about you, but I've had my share of yeast infections starting in 2019, which was last year. I started getting them, and I've never really gotten them before. I probably got them once back in college, and they went away, so it was fine. But last year, it was a very challenging experience for me because they just kept coming back. One minute I thought, it's gone great, and then here it is. And it happened like that for a good majority of the year. And it was, like I mentioned, a frustrating experience because for those of you who haven't had a yeast infection, it has you feeling itchiness, burning, some pain, like inflammation, even, very unpleasant smells. And so, not to mention pretty heavy discharge. So it really wasn't something that I can live with, let's just say. And, I went to my doctor and all they kept giving me was Monistat and Diflucan and other creams, which worked in the beginning, but then really lost its effectiveness. And sometimes it would also really irritate my stomach because that Diflucan drug, which is the pill that you take, it really did a number on my gut. So that's when I basically accepted the fact that, these doctors can't help me. I kind of have to do my own research and see what I can find out there. And so I discovered boric acid, and boric acid was something that definitely saved my life in that it provided immediate relief. So boric acid, you can buy it as a suppository on Amazon. I was taking it very religiously for a week, and then I started just maintenance. And then what I discovered was that whenever I stopped taking it, the yeast infections would come back right away. And I started kind of thinking to myself, well, is this going to be my life? Like, if I don't have any boric acid, I'm pretty much screwed. That kind of sucks too. So that kind of led me to want to see, like, what else is out there? What else can I do? Because I don't want to be dependent on a suppository for the rest of my life. And that's when Ayurveda came into my life. I started doing a lot of readings and research, and it turns out that the reason why a lot of us get yeast infections is because our immune system is compromised. And the number one way that you can compromise your immune system is if you have a weak gut, right? The gut is what digests and processes everything that we consume, from food to emotions to thoughts to trauma. Everything gets processed by the gut. And when the gut is not strong, when the gut is not strong, that means the body has to work harder in order for the gut to do its job, to process the food, to process everything that you're eating and drinking and taking in. So when a lot of your energy is being used by your gut, that means that the energy is not being distributed evenly across your entire being, across your entire body. And so the immune system is then not getting enough energy that it needs to fight off the fungus, the bacteria, or to basically keep everything in check. And yeast infections, yeast infections is caused by an overgrowth of candida, which is a type of fungus, right? It normally lives like in your body or on your body. And it's pretty fine just hanging out by itself. But then when it's left unchecked, right, when your immune system is compromised, then that's when it basically just wreaks havoc, meaning it just grows and grows and grows without being checked. So that's how yeast infections occur. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that my immune system was weak and that I had a gut problem. And so what my Ayurveda doctor told me is that I needed to fix my gut. I needed to strengthen my gut so that way I can strengthen my immune system. And she gave me a list of things to do. And those things, which I'm really happy about, had nothing to do with taking a single drug. Everything was natural, and everything were things that I can control, things that I had to change about my lifestyle. So let me pull up my list and share with you exactly what I did. People are passing by. Now, keep in mind, we are all different, right? We all have different body chemistries. So that means that use this list as a guideline. Don't take it as, the 10 Commandments where you have to follow every single thing to the T. Some of them might work for you. Some of them might not be applicable, and that's okay. But I feel like having a starting point is a lot better than having no information at all. So the first thing that she wanted me to do is reduce or avoid foods with processed sugar. This one is really important because Candida loves sugar. Cancer cells also love sugar. So sugar isn't really something that you should be eating a lot of. Now, I'm not talking about fruits because that isn't processed sugar. Fruits are like natural fructose that occur in plants. I'm talking about the white sugar that you find in breads, that you find in juices, corn syrup. Those are all the no-nos that you should definitely be staying away from. So number one, and I think is the easiest thing, is just avoid or at least reduce the amount of food or drinks that you consume that contain processed sugar. And that will definitely make sure that you're not feeding Candida. The second thing that she had me do is reduce or eliminate coffee in my diet. Now, I'm not really a heavy coffee drinker to begin with. I probably drink like 1 cup of coffee every 3 days, and I really just do it because sometimes I get tired in the afternoon. That's really when I drink my coffee, in the afternoon. And so what she told me is make sure that you only drink 1 cup when you do, or less. And when you do drink coffee, to add some cardamom powder and some coconut oil and a teeny little bit of salt. And what that does, it actually makes it less acidic, which means that it's going to be gentler on my stomach. The reason why she's telling me to not drink coffee is because she wants me to eliminate caffeine. And the reason why she wants me to eliminate caffeine is because caffeine actually weakens your digestive power, so your body's ability to digest. Again, if you are going to compromise your digestion, that means your body has to work harder to digest the food, which means that more energy has to be put into the digesting process, which means there's less energy to go around to get to your immune system. See how the gut and the immune system are so connected? The next thing she had me do is to chew my food adequately. So make sure I'm just chewing my food. This sounds really basic, but man, I was not chewing my food as much as I should have been. I guess it's because I've just been like eating fast. Like either I'm so excited that I just want to down it because the food is so delicious, or I'm just not present. So she told me that to help me with chewing my food, I can count how many bites I'm taking, so anywhere from 15 to 20. And then also what can help is if I make sure that I say a blessing before the food, because saying a blessing before the food will actually subconsciously slow my entire presence down. It'll slow me down. It'll get me present in the act of slicing my food, putting it in my mouth, and eating it. So yeah, I guess the moral of the story here is it's important to just be present when you're eating. And when you're present, you're a lot more likely to chew your food adequately. Now, why should you chew your food adequately? Well, your stomach cannot digest solids. That's why you have teeth to chew your food and make them into liquids. The food, when you chew it, mixes with your saliva, making it into a liquid form. So when you swallow it, your stomach can easily digest it. But if you're swallowing solids, it's a lot harder to break down. Again, more energy now has to be used up by your digestive system, which means less to go around to your immune system. Next thing she had me do is to make sure I eat 3 times a day. 3 meals, not snacks. 3 meals a day, and to also stop myself from snacking. The reason why is because your body needs at least 4 to 6 hours to break down food. That's how long the digestive process takes. People with faster metabolism, theirs probably takes 4 hours, whereas people with slower metabolism can take up to 6. So that's why it's important to not put food in your belly while your body is still digesting, because that means that you have a higher likelihood to get indigestion, right? And you're also not giving your body a break to actually finish the job before giving them another one. So that's causing, again, more pressure, more work on your digestive system, which means that more energy has to be put in there, and then less energy for your immune system, okay? So make sure that you actually eat substantial meals. Now, how much is substantial? What my Ayurveda teacher taught me is to cup your hands like this. So, like that. So that's how much food you should be eating, right? It's like a bowl, fill up a bowl. I mean, don't fill it up like that, but just like fill it up. And you'll get practice out of it. Sometimes you'll fill it up. Maybe you didn't fill it up enough, or you filled it up too much. But if you're present in eating, you're eating slowly, then you should be able to catch yourself and say, oh, I'm full. I don't need any more food. Or I'm actually still a little hungry. I'm going to get more. Pretty simple, right? A lot of these things sound super simple. It's just that I didn't really take the time to understand it. The next thing she had me do is drink warm water. Now, warm water, I had no idea has magical powers. And the reason why is because it's the best way to really get your gut moving. And here's why. Here's why she has me doing this. So when you wake up in the morning, you were sleeping for like anywhere from 6 to 8, 9 hours, depending on how much sleep you need, right? And that means that you weren't eating or drinking throughout that time. So your body was fasting, okay? And that means that your stomach, your gut, your digestive system hasn't really been, working, which means that it was sort of like in idle mode, right? So in Ayurveda, they tell us that the Agni, which means your digestive fire, is what breaks down the food, okay? It's the one responsible for breaking down the food and transforming that into energy. And so when you wake up in the morning, your digestive fire is naturally weak because you just woke up, right? And then your digestive fire builds throughout the day, peaking around 12 o'clock when the sun is at its highest. So when you wake up, again, your digestive system is low. The best thing you can do is to help it reignite, to reignite the flame. The way you would do that is by ingesting something warm and simple, like warm water. You don't want to digest cold beverages first thing in the morning, because that's sort of like putting sand into your digestive fire. And what does sand do? It basically will put out the fire. Or just think about it as ice, right? Like really cold water. What would that do to something hot? It will cool it down. So digesting things like iced coffee or smoothies in the morning sounds good, but it's really not, because it's just weakening your Agni, your digestive fire, which means that your digestive fire is going to be weak throughout the day. And when that is weak, again, you're putting a lot of pressure on your body to put more energy into digestion, leaving less energy for your immune system. The next benefit of drinking warm water in the morning is it makes you poop. It makes you poop really well. And I know that for people, that's what they depend on coffee for, but warm water works wonders. I swear to God, it works for me. And being able to eliminate regularly every single day is key to having a strong gut, a good immune system. Because if you have poop, it's just a really funny word. If you have poop stuck in your body, then that means you have toxins building up in your body. And that means you have like things there that are causing blockages in your intestines, which means that your digestive system can't complete the full process, right? There's backup being built. I don't know why I was dancing there, but there's backup that you need to get rid of. And so that's why it's so important to poop regularly. When you don't poop regularly, again, you cause an imbalance in your digestive system, which means that your gut is going to weaken, which means that, again, you're not going to have enough energy to dedicate to your immune system. Next thing she recommended is to get enough restful sleep. Sleep is so important. Sleep is critical to having a healthy digestive system, because without sleep, you won't have the opportunity to give your digestive system a rest, right? If you're just up throughout the night, I mean, you've experienced this. I was in college before. I've pulled my share of all-nighters. And what do when you're awake? You eat, right? You drink, whatever that is, juices, sodas, whatever it is, like, you're going to consume food and beverages. And when you are going to consume food and beverages day and night, you're not really giving your digestive system the rest it needs. So what does that mean? It means it has to work overtime to process that food. So that's why it's really important to make sure that you get the proper amount of sleep. Specifically, sleep from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. is the most important for your gut. And I'll talk about this later in other videos, but the reason why is because that is Pitta time. Pitta translates to one of the Ayurvedic doshas, which I will explain later, but Pitta time is all about fire, right? Fire time. So our digestion is linked to the Agni, digestive fire, Pitta. Again, I'll explain that later, but just keep in mind, overall, make sure you get plenty of sleep. The next thing is that she wanted to make sure that I managed my stress level. And, as a mom, as an executive, as a partner, as a sister, as a friend, I have a lot of things going on. So it's very important for me to just be able to manage the stress levels that are, in my body, in my mind, because if I don't, then stress. All right, sorry, I got disconnected. What was I saying? Okay, so it's really important for me to be able to manage my stress levels, because if I don't, then stress will wreak havoc in my immune system. And the reason why stress wreaks havoc is because it releases a chemical called cortisol. And cortisol is not very good for your overall health. So that's why it's very important to be able to manage your stress levels, so that way it doesn't compromise your immune system. All right, what is next on our list? Let me see here. Oh, this one is a really easy one. This one is, she had me chew a sliver of ginger or slivers, maybe like 1 or 2 slivers of ginger, fresh ginger, not ginger powder, but slivers of ginger with lemon and salt a little before mealtime. This sort of acts like as a starter or appetizer for your Agni. So it helps strengthen your Agni. So when you eat, your digestive fire is a bit stronger. So it helps with your digestion. And anything that helps you digest is good for your immune system. All right, next thing. This one is pretty easy too, because this one is all about like taking herbal supplements. When I was in the process of getting my gut back into balance, I needed help. I needed support outside of my body. So these herbal supplements were really effective in helping bring back the balance in my gut. So what was most helpful to me is this formulation from Banyan Botanicals called Triphala. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's spelled Triphala. I'll make sure to link that below in the description so you guys can check it out if that's something that you want to use. But they're little teeny tablets, and it's really helpful for helping your body to detox and help with your elimination of the waste practice. So basically pooping. And again, I just talked about how eliminating regularly is an important part of overall gut health and strengthening your immune system. Other things that I stopped that my doctor didn't tell me to, because I forgot to mention to her, is that I stopped taking birth control. I've wanted to stop, the pill. I've been on the pill, or I was on the pill for many years, but I've been thinking of stopping it because of all the hormones that I subject my body to. So when I stopped, it was really such a kind of like a relief, I already didn't really like how it was making me feel. And so taking that off just it was so helpful just to getting me back into like my normal self. And medically, it's been proven that birth control can have an effect on reoccurring yeast infections. So that was really helpful for me. And then also some hygiene practices. It can never hurt to have better hygiene. So I decided to cleanse my vaginal area 3 times a day, when I wake up, during the day, and then before I go to bed. And in terms of overall cleansing, make sure that you're not using any, vaginal cleansers that have like scents, because those things can irritate your vaginal area. You're introducing like chemicals that aren't really going to be the same pH as the environment that's already there. So just keep it natural. I use a naturally derived soap from Dr. Bronner. It's like a Castile-based soap. So if you can find something like that, that would be a good substitute. And you can use that on your entire body too. It's really gentle, it's naturally derived, and it doesn't use plastic because they're bar soaps. And then also the last thing I did was pretty much meditating daily. And this is really helpful when it comes to managing my stress and helping me to slow down. Because I used to have the tendency to wake up frazzled and kind of like, whoa, come on, let's go, let's do it. What do I gotta do? What do I gotta do? I gotta get ready, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. But now when I wake up, I drink my warm water and I meditate. And it helps me relax and it helps me be calm. Because I have a lot of natural pitta, fire in me. It's one of my doshas that are more prominent. So I'm very prone to be go, go, go all the time. And so meditation helps me just slow down and take a pause and really understand, what do I want to do for today? How do I want to show up? What are my intentions? And so that's been really helpful for just my overall, not just stress management, but well-being. So the last thing, I lied, I thought that was the last thing, but the very last thing that also helped is for me to move my body regularly every day. So exercising, right? Whether that's yoga or going on walks or jogs or runs or weight training, move your body, move your body. Movement is something that is natural and essential to us creatures. And if we don't move our body, then we're not really getting the needed blood flow, the circulation, right? That we need to feel our best. And as we just talked about, right? As you just heard me explain, like everything is so connected, everything. So if we're not moving our bodies, chances are that's going to affect us in some other way, which will then lead to some type of weakened immune system. So make sure that you move. And when you do exercise and you're sweaty, like make sure that you take a shower and take off that sweaty, wet underwear. Because when you have wet underwear or wet pants, that is creating an environment that is well suited for candida overgrowth. It's something that can help yeast infections come about. So after a workout, as soon as possible, head to the shower so that you can take off that wet underwear and replace it with something clean and dry. So that's it. I say that's it, but it doesn't really sound like it's that it, because it's not a short list when you think about it. It's a pretty exhaustive list, but the good thing about this list is that these are very healthy changes that you can make in your life. Some of them are very simple. Some of them are going to require a lot more intention and a lot more time and a lot more work. But that's okay, because it's so worth it. You are worth it. Your health is worth it. And once things start coming back into balance, it's so nice to just, live without the chronic yeast infections, live without having to take Monistat or Diflucan, live without having to make sure that you've got tons of boric acid in stock. It's so worth it. If you're not worth it, then what else is worth it, right? So let me know if you guys have any questions. Again, hit me up on the comments or on my other social chats. But thank you so much for listening. If there's anything else that you want to know, any topic ideas for me to talk about to make videos of, let me know. Otherwise, make sure you like this video, give that a thumbs up. And if you like the content that I'm sharing and you haven't yet subscribed, I invite you to subscribe and also to share it with other people that you think will find my channel useful. Thank you so much again, and have a blessed day.